Did you know that plants can produce sunscreen? I mean, kind of. Let's talk about it. So I hear this a lot whenever I'll make a video or tell someone that their plant needs more light, and then I'll hear people say, well, I put it outside and then it burned up. Well, that's because the plant hadn't put its sunscreen on. You see, plants will adapt to the environment that they are put into. So whenever you put a plant into a low light situation, it's going to essentially lower down its defenses against UV rays because it needs to capture as many UV rays as possible in order to continue to live and photosynthesize. And the opposite is true as well. Whenever plants are acclimated to a very bright situation where they're getting direct sunlight or super bright light in a greenhouse or something, they're essentially going to harden off their cells so that way they don't burn in that harsh sunlight. So, what can you do when you're going to change the environment of a plant where you're going to be moving it from low light to bright light? You have to do a hardening off process. Similar to someone that hasn't been exposed to very much sunlight and their skin is very pale, and then you want to try and get them out and get them exposed to the sun so that they don't burn. It's going to be a gradual process where you give them a little bit of exposure at a time. So maybe you put them out in brighter light for an hour or two and then move them back to a lower light situation. And over the course of a couple of weeks, you can expose them to longer and longer periods of brighter light until they are able to acclimate or essentially get their tan on in order to be able to withstand that brighter light. Slower, gradual changes are better for the plant, in other words. This same process applies for transitioning your vegetable seedlings that you have started indoors to outdoors. There is a whole hardening off process there, and it's the same principles.